What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, and we have just one episode left of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier has been great so far, so hopefully we can expect a pretty good finale to finish it off. And also hopefully a long one, as the last episode was 61 minutes. Hopefully this one will come in around an hour and a half. And based off of everything that we know about the finale for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're going to need that time because a lot is going to be happening. Based off of everything that we know and everything that we saw from the trailers, TV spots, promotions on Instagram and Twitter, and leaked set photos and videos, we actually have a pretty good idea of a few scenes that are going to be happening in the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, including one in the ending. Now, things that we've seen aren't too revealing. After all, like I said, they've pretty much showed them online somewhere, but I am going to be talking about what I think is going to happen, and in case I happen to be right, this is your spoiler warning. We are going to go over all of the scenes and talk about what they mean. So if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel content, and also I'm still giving away a Captain America shield. Just look out for the info in the description and the pinned comment down below. Big shout out to the Twitter user at Chris the Deviant for putting together all of the photos from the trailers and TV spots that we have not seen yet. And we'll start with the first scene, which is going to be the Flag Smashers attacking a police convoy. Now, the last time we left off with the Flag Smashers in episode 5, they have infiltrated the GRC. The GRC was voting on whether or not to send the refugees back that had fled to their countries. Although, as we saw, there really wasn't much of a vote going on. They kind of already decided that they're going to send them back. In fact, they said that they have people in place ready to take them back, which is obviously a big problem for the Flag Smashers because they believe in no borders, no flags. The whole world should be one. So they infiltrate the GRC and then the police come. Well, it looks like Karli has a plan to deal with the police. As we can see here, she has poured gasoline under one of the police trucks. She lights it on fire and it explodes, and the expression on her face is pretty happy. Now, if you notice, in this shot of the explosion, we can see a motorcycle on the ground. And we know that Bucky is actually going to ride this motorcycle into a barrier, jump off of it, and attack Karli. The motorcycle assumingly flips into the air and goes forward a little bit, then lands on the ground. I believe that is what we are seeing here. Now, we have a few shots of Bucky and some of the other Flag Smashers fighting, presumably in this scene. And it looks like Karli clearly blows up this police vehicle after this fight, which makes us question what happens to Bucky. Did the fight take them to another place and Bucky is off fighting other Flag Smashers? Or maybe they somehow beat him. After all, he doesn't have Sam with him, and Bucky was barely able to beat John Walker with the help of Sam. So Bucky versus 1 or 2 or 3 Flag Smashers might actually be pretty hard for him. And we know that Sam is eventually going to show up. And it's actually kind of funny how we have no footage of Sam showing up for the final battle. That is because he is going to be in his new Captain America uniform. At the end of episode 5, Sam opened the briefcase that Bucky gave him. That is from Wakanda. That is going to be his new Captain America uniform, presumably with Wakandan technology, vibranium wings and vibranium lacing in the uniform. And luckily, we only have one more day to wait until we see that uniform. Now, in this next scene, we can see all of the chaos that the Flag Smashers are causing in New York City and at the GRC. We see more explosions of police vehicles that are surrounding the GRC. We see helicopters flying around it, and we see people evacuating the building. And in the background, we can see that everything is red, just like at the ending of episode 5. So we know that the Flag Smashers have infiltrated the GRC. Some of them are already inside, which leads me to believe that they are probably keeping everybody that was in that room who was voting hostage. Anyone else in the building, they are probably letting escape. Their grudge is really with this council. They're trying to take refugees who now have a home in different countries and send them back to where they came from, with no resources and no help and no homes really. So the goal of the Flag Smashers is to try and stop this. However, interestingly enough, it looks like Karli is not inside of the building, but she's outside. We have more photos of a battle between her and Bucky, and it looks like she actually kicks up a parking meter and is using that to fight Bucky. But luckily, Bucky has a vibranium arm. If he didn't, it looks like it would be a relatively hard battle for him. But luckily, he has the arm, and as we can see here in these photos, it looks like he's got the advantage over Karli, as we see him throw her most likely into something. Now, we know this isn't going to be the end of the fight. For one reason or another, this fight gets interrupted. The reason we know this is because we see Bucky in another scene outside of the GRC looking like he's about to go in. We see him look at the main entrance as everyone everybody is evacuating, and then he looks back, most likely looking at Sam. And again, we haven't seen Sam because he's most likely in his new Captain America uniform. And speaking of Captain America, John Walker is not done yet. He has been stripped of his title as Captain America, but in the post-credit scene of episode 5, we saw him making his own shield. And in a trailer we see him walking down the street with that shield in hand, going up to the Flag Smashers. Now, in this shot right here where we get a close-up of the shield, you can tell that there's some differences here. And although it looks pretty decent, you can tell that he made it himself. So he walks up to the Flag Smashers, sees Karli, chucks his shield at her, but as we can see here, she simply kicks it away. I've explained a few times how the probability of it being a simple metal and not vibranium is really, really high. It's most likely just made out of a common metal. And since Karli, and actually all of the other Flag Smashers, actually have the same type of super soldier serum that John Walker has, a perfected super soldier serum, I'm guessing that this probably doesn't end well for John Walker. I don't think he's going to die, but I do think he's not going to be able to take on the Flag Smashers alone. So he's either going to work with Falcon and Bucky at the end, or he's going to get beat up pretty badly. Now, one final scene that we haven't seen yet is of Falcon talking to somebody about fighting for the shield. Some people think that this could be Steve Rogers, and although that is a possibility, if we take a look at where he's at, we realize that this is the backyard of Isaiah Bradley's home. In episode 5, we actually see this exact staircase that is behind Sam. And although it's dark, we can definitely see here in this scene with Isaiah that the stairs behind him are definitely the same stairs that are behind Sam. The only difference is this scene is clearly in daylight, which means Sam goes back and he talks to Isaiah. Maybe he could even convince him to join the fight at the end. Maybe he won't join it originally, but maybe Sam's words could resonate with him and he joins the fight by the end. Now, we have 2 pictures of Sharon Carter that we have not seen yet, plus we have the scene where she's in the garage. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again, I will not be surprised if she is the power broker. I know there's been a little bit of misdirection leading us to believe that she isn't the power broker, but I still believe she has some connections with the power broker, or she herself is indeed the big mysterious power broker. And then we have some photos of the end here. We can clearly see that Sam and Bucky are back at Sam's place at the dock where they keep their boat, which they decided not to sell. And judging by the looks on their faces, everybody is pretty happy. The neighborhood has come together. Little kids are hanging off of Bucky's vibranium arm. I'm going to assume that the community came together and they helped Sarah and Sam. And of course, in this episode, I would assume that Bucky is going to make amends with Yori. He's going to tell him that he is the one that killed his son. If this is not addressed at the ending, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty upset. But I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen. And that's what we can expect from the ending and finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Lots of action and lots of happiness at the end, and hopefully there is some sort of a post-credit scene with the Thunderbolts being assembled. Zemo got taken to the raft, a place that Thunderbolt Ross actually controls, and I'm pretty sure there are some other villains in that prison. From there, hopefully we see some sort of a post-credit scene of Thunderbolt Ross talking to the prisoners, telling them that they can earn their freedom by working for him. I don't want to hype it up too much because I have no idea what's actually going to happen, but I would absolutely love to see this. And I'm sure many others would as well. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier videos and other Marvel videos as well. And be sure to join the live watch party for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale. We'll be starting at about 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. Be sure to like the video, and for live updates you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.